I,
That wasn't, I didn't realize it was that big day, so we'll get here. All right, we are recording. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. It's a special meeting of the Hill County Commissioners Court. 21st day of July, 8:39 a.m. in the Hill County Courthouse. We do have a forum present. We are going to go ahead and move to open forum. We have, I know we have one for open forum. Is that correct? Come on up, man. But introduce yourself.
Amy Teal, I'm in Whitney. I'm here because it's tax season. And I have been taking reducing taxes very seriously for the last couple dozen years with active walking and testifying at the legislature and opposing bonds and fighting for lower taxes, not just within my own counties, but in helping a lot of other people around the state. I've been following the Eliminate Property Tax group very closely and watching their bills finally get filed, start getting more attention and track. And I'm hoping that eventually we can get that completely done. In the meantime, I am encouraging every taxing entity, including my own, I'll be voting no in Whitney, to prepare a bare bones budget as much as possible so that you can lower taxes as much as possible. And I know the biggest, hardest part of a lot of these budgets ends up being salaries, because you've got a lot of people who are very good workers, very much worth their weight in gold, but we're dealing with other people's money. And this is where I'm going to ask everybody to reduce salaries as much as possible. I know that a lot of times we're using salary comparisons with other counties, other regions, other states even. And unfortunately, we're dealing with Hill County, with our people here in Hill County and what they can and can't afford to bear. Unlike the free market, all of the money that the taxing entities are spending isn't coming from voluntary products and consumer services. We're dealing with money that is taken forcefully from other people around us. So if we can keep that at the forefront of every decision you're making, I would appreciate it. I think a lot of other people in Hill County would appreciate it. We're looking at the no new revenue rate, and when tax rates are lowered, but the tax bill is still raised. So on those notices, please look at that too. It's not enough to just lower the rate if the tax bill is higher. And that is always going to fall back on the taxing entity itself. No matter what the appraisals do, you guys are the ones that have control of the tax rate that you adopt. And I know you have to adopt a budget first. So starting here with the budget hearings, trying to get those numbers down as low as possible to support a lower rate. Other than that, I will stop for now. Thank you.
Man, we appreciate you coming today. So we're going to go ahead and move on into our budget workshop. It's the only item on the agenda. I scheduled the first one to start at 9 because it was a scheduling mistake on my part. That would be the constables. We are going to try to work some people in, just like we have just like Jeff Lewis is in the past, where we're not just sitting here. We'll try to get through as many people as possible. If they're ready to go, I don't want to push anybody if they're not ready. Again, today, budget workshop, we'll be looking at the wants and needs that everybody is asking for. We don't have our revenues yet. They're not even supposed to be until July 31st, I believe.
June 6th.
Okay, so we don't even really know the back end of the equation yet. So we're just looking, they're gonna tell us.
a lot's gonna be blank until that comes in.
Correct. Yeah, it's gonna be blank, but we'll be able to hear what our electeds and appointed needs are, what the wants are. And we can start looking at those with some discernment.
For the last 10 years that I've been here, the the tax rate has always been lowered nearly every year.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
So I do know that the constables are here. Constable Neville, are you ready to go, or what do you got?
Already?
Already.
Yes, sir.
Oh. So this will be Constable Precinct 1. Should be in your tabs.
Good morning.
How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are y'all today?
Doing well.
Looking at a couple of increases, nothing real crazy. I got a late email about our insurance and everything, and that's gonna increase $10, so I didn't have that on, 10%. Which is kind of out of my control. I think that's about $818. Or $815.80, that's what it is. Our training, my training budget is only $500, and you can't do much training for $500, so I'm asking for a $1,000 increase there to get it to $1,500.
Like you can get a hotel room.
What's that?
You couldn't pay for a hotel room.
I just went to a 2-day class, and it was free training, which I try to go to all the free training I can. And it ate up nearly $500. So I was gonna move my fuel from 6,500 to 7,000, just to be safe, because these fuel prices are up and down right now. So I'd rather be on the safe side and ask for a little more there. The biggest need, and we really have to, we have a WatchGuard camera system right now that has become, when it was WatchGuard, it was okay, you could get help with it, and now it's become obsolete. AT&T bought it. You can't get them to give you any kind of support at all, so it's no good. As a matter of fact, I've had to, just to be compliant, I've had to go out and buy a Nuvie or a similar body camera on my own, just till we can get something to replace that WatchGuard system. And we're looking at going with Axon. That's where the sheriff's office, everybody else is, for our body cameras and in-car cameras, and that's an increase of 5,531, 12 per year. It's just a necessity that we have to have, though. The other add-on is repairs. I added another $1,500 on there for my repairs. My truck's got almost 100,000 miles on it, so just want to have a little cushion there in case I need to work on it. And I've got a question. I'm not sure if this is the time, about our insurance and hail damage, or that money is there. I'd like to have over 150,000 before I even look at replacing my vehicle. Maybe that's something down the road for next year, but I've got that hail damage money. I don't want it to roll over into a general fund. I'd like to have it in a reserve or move it to my repair fund if possible, so I can use that money possibly for replacing my truck in the future.
What model is your truck?
2020.
2020?
So in general, you can't roll funds. The only guys that get to roll funds are these guys here. But I don't see why we couldn't take it into consideration going into the future, that if that money did come back to the general fund, that we would keep that in mind when it comes time to get a different truck trade in, whatever it is. But I do agree with your assessment. I think at least 150,000 miles is, that truck's still good for now.
Yeah,
Like you
I
said,
don't
you
want to
might-
replace it.
Maybe next year or so, yeah. Of course, it all depends on your paper load too, right?
Right.
You can put 50,000 a year easy if you, depending on what that is.
Right.
We-
Oh, yeah.
we keep an eye on them.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the telephone line item, that one is not really in your control.
That one goes in hand with the Axon. We have to have a separate phone line just for the cradle. To upload our videos and everything has to have a separate phone line. One that's just for that. And that's what that increase is there.
And you had, there was a capital outlay budget this current year, but you're not asking for that again. It's the very last line.
Yeah, I'll just keep it the same. I didn't adjust it at all.
Okay. We know what that was for.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't want to lose it, but I
All
don't.
right, Miss Susan, do you know what that capital outlay was for on the precinct one constable? Was there a special project or? Okay.
I'll look into that, Judge, because this is my first one.
Yes, sir.
I'll look into it and see what I can find out.
Okay.
John, we do.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause zero of it has been spent, so that's.
I'm not sure. I'll look into that though.
I wondered, I don't know, I guess all the constables want to get their eggs on at the same time, but we could certify the repairs that he did receive, because if he doesn't want to replace the vehicle, those funds could be used to maybe purchase this
Excellent.
Exxon.
For this year. Did you, how much was the vehicle?
About 9,000. It's got a lot of
Yeah, you
damage.
could purchase the Axon system to see if like that.
Yeah.
Rest of the vehicle issue needs to be good.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yes. And the Axon, correct me if I'm wrong, are we statutorily, you guys are required to have body cameras now?
Yes. For
Well, it's just a liability.
Well, yeah. I'm just pointing out,
Only for traffic stops.
I'm just pointing out an unfunded.
well, when and we go out with the county too and
Yeah,
them on
no,
calls and
You have to have them.
You have
It's-
to have a
The
body.
state mandated you to have them, and of course,
you have
didn't want to
to
help pay for them.
have the in-car cameras also for traffic stops and that type of thing.
All right. Anything else?
I know it's not anything I can adjust on my budget or ask for. I would just like to ask that when y'all are looking at our raises this year, we're a little behind there as far as the like a basic deputy out of the academy is making what we are. And a lot of us have 30, 50, a lot of experience out there rolling around. I think it's a little more deserving of a basic deputy pay, and I'd like you to keep that in consideration when you're thinking about raises for us. Respectfully.
Well, we're here today is to have discussions. Hopefully, you already hurt my feelings.
Other than that, that's it.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank y'all.
That'll move us to Constable Gersh. He sent in his budget. He's out of town today. And some prior commitments.
Good, I got certainty when it's been.
Okay, come on.
I guess he would have said he tapped it out and give it to you to send it to. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is from Justin Gersh. He wanted to thank you for your continued support. I only have a few changes in my current budget. Increases would be for the Exxon Taser 7, dues and membership and training and mileage. Decrease would be removing radio line item contingent with the radios and radio equipment being provided by the Hill County Radio Administrator. The current amount could be forwarded to that program. As the county grows, I would request the county judge and commissioners would keep in mind and consider the continued growth of the county. Future plans from this office include staffing and office growth. Thank you for your time. That was it.
Okay. So. I think, we're gonna see from each constable this Axon situation. I think we know that already. The, Constable Gersh already has Axon to a degree. The only thing he doesn't have is a taser.
Correct.
So if we approve the whole Axon for all the constables, he's wanting to be involved, but just receiving the taser, that's the only piece of equipment is missing.
And the other constables need everything.
Everything, yes, sir. So his won't be quite as much as everybody else's because he's already paying for a portion. So, let's see. We get. And as I said, the $1,000 the Axon was approved, that's what he's asking for there. There's not really anything else. He asked me to take a look at it earlier and we talked. So.
Okay.
Sounds good to me, sir. I appreciate you. Miss Lincoln, can we work you in now if you're ready? I know you were trying. You had
All right. Well, good morning. How are y'all this morning? Isn't this y'all's favorite time of year?
Oh, you know it.
I'm going to try to make it as painless as possible as far as the juvenile probation department is concerned. I did provide you guys with a booklet that really shows everything that our funding is going towards. For our budget request and summary, I just wanted to highlight a few things for you guys. Hill County Juvenile is the smallest county in the state that operates 3 discretionary programs, which is our JJP, our drug court, and our truancy prevention program. And so we are very unique in what we do. We are very much more like a small to large county in the programs that we offer. And so just wanted to highlight for you guys. Specifically on the second page is the Hill County Fund budget request. And you'll see on there, the largest increase that we're requesting is solely for the detention beds. I did not ask for an increase for salaries. I did not ask for an increase for operating expenses. We do know that the 2 prepaid beds that we have in Denton County are going to be $250 per day. And so that is an increase from $225 a day. And so that is where that request is actually coming from. So that is the only request that I have, is just to keep maintaining those 2 prepaid beds that we have in Denton County.
Did last year they just charged us when we used them?
They did.
Charges for every day?
Yeah. Actually this year we just used them a lot more. And so last year we only I think our total was about 68,000. So I actually requested less last year for those beds. This year, if you actually turn to the very last page of the folder, you'll see what we have spent so far this year in detention, which is $96,895. And we still have about a month to go. So we have expended a lot more of that funds than we did last year. So we do see that as a continual request. But yes, last year I requested less in that line item, specifically because we had not used all of those dollars.
So it's 500 times 365 days.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a significant cost, but I can tell you from a law enforcement perspective, I have some of my law enforcement partners in the room. We are definitely needing those beds. Again, just to highlight that back page of that spreadsheet, you'll see just the level of offenses that we are detaining on. Possession of controlled substance, assault, public servant, sexual assault. These are not offenses that are just a simple theft at Walmart. These are those really significant offenses. And so we just want to provide you with that information as well. From a state perspective, we actually did get a small increase, which was really nice. We got about a $3,000 increase in our salary and fringe that the legislative body did for us the last legislative session, and then another about $3,000. So I really, again, tried to really hone it down to where my biggest request is my operating expenses, but then those 2 detention beds as well. I did also want to highlight, I did put in there for you guys just some information so that you have information, especially if you're asked out in the community what all of our dollars are going towards. It provides you just the background information for our JJP program, our truancy prevention program, and our drug court program as well. So I know I throw a lot of stuff at you guys, but I want you guys to have all the information that you need in case you're asked from your constituents as well. Because y'all are a big supporter of our budget. Y'all have any questions or anything that I can answer for you guys?
Pretty conservative.
I try really hard. I do want to share, Judge, if you don't mind, if you have just a moment. We did actually, we've been in our building that we've been in the juvenile probation office for about 20 years. It's an old modular building. Commissioner Crumpton got to see it not too long ago. It's not pretty, but we've made do for quite some time in that building. I actually got state dollars we had the entire building repainted. We actually had the whole flooring completely replaced. It did not cost Hill County a penny. It did not cost anything out of my budget. It was funds that were available within our region. And so even though our department's not super pretty, we are doing some upgrades over there. But those upgrades that we have done did not cost the county any dollars. And the ones that we do have will be from my budget internally. So we're just getting new signage and things like that just to kind of mirror the rest of the county. So.
And the upgrades, from what I've been told that have done, it's still a 20-year-old monumental building. So there has to be plans in the future for them. We don't know what these look like just yet, but they did some paint and some new flooring, and just to try to make it workable building.
Absolutely.
Structurally, that's gotta have some.
Yeah,
It's gotta get shored up at some point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Modular building.
In the summertime, it gets really hot in there and we have the ACs go out regularly and, but here's the thing, I'm not one to complain. When I first started, I was over on Elm Street in a little, building that had little cubicles. And, so we have always made do with what we have. We do know that it's in the future going to be a need that we have because we are going to continue to grow. But we're making do with what we have until the time comes that we have the opportunity to have a new building.
Will your cases coming or building more than they have been in the past, or you getting more of a?
It's pretty consistent. We are not having like an incredible influx, but we have very consistent referrals. We're not declining in any capacity. All of our programs that we're serving continues to increase. So it's variable, be based on per year. During the summertime, things are a little bit more quiet, but as soon as school starts, we know we're going to get super busy again.
One of those listed on here, but pretty severe.
Yeah, no, we've had some really significant offenses that have occurred this year, and unfortunately, this is what we're seeing. And here's this snapshot is just those that we put in detention. So I do want to highlight that too, that even though we do have a lot more than these are just the ones we detained. This does not include any of those Class A misdemeanors, Class B misdemeanors that we never even looked at detention for. So we stay really consistently busy. Our caseloads are always busy. The kids have a lot of mental health needs. So, my department is not one of those that is just sitting there waiting for business. Unfortunately, we get lots of it.
Yeah, if you look at the list of those offenses, they're pretty serious criminal offenses for adults, much less juveniles. And
The structure itself is still good. It just needs to do some cosmetic work inside.
Yeah, the structure has been fine. I mean, the floors creak a lot. They did have to replace a few of the floor areas, I think, when they were doing the building. But again, we're going to wait until the time comes that we know that the county has the ability to build. We know that's been coming for quite some time, but my staff, we're grateful for what we have. And especially since the new upgrades, like it really looks a lot better, a lot more professional. So it's a nice change. Especially that it didn't cost the county money, so that's always a plus.
Yeah. Sure. Well, do we have any
And
questions?
then 190,000, but it's gonna cost to rent their deal, that's not funded by the state.
No.
That's what I want to say, that's.
No,
That's another deal
and the-
that we pay for.
We, the juvenile board. We were talking, we had a meeting the other day, and it looks like the state is moving more towards the model of you need to address these issues within your own. Meaning they're not gonna give us feds, they're not gonna give us services. And again, that means our taxpayers are gonna have to bear the brunt of those costs. And we have seen from the Behavioral Health Network, some good work from them lately.
Amazing partnership.
At the juvenile front, and that doesn't cost us.
I only pay a small portion for parenting because they cannot bill for that. But that comes out of my state dollars.
So, we have the meetings, mental health resources for juveniles, which is on track for what we do, not just throw them away.
Absolutely.
So. But it is, the state is narrowing it down to, you're gonna have to handle these problems, we're not. It is the trend.
It is, yeah, the kind of mindset is these are your kids, so y'all should be paying for them. But I mean, again, if you guys look at my whole budget from the state perspective, they are funding Hill County well. That's based on referrals, that's based on our population. And so used to, we would like literally beg for money. I do feel like the state, even though those kids are needing to be closer to home, they are trying to support that the best that they can with regionalization. That's one of the big things that they have pushed out. Last year or this year alone, we've only had 2 commitments to TJJD. Most of the kids, if we place them, are through regionalization dollars. And so again, that's not a county expense, that's still a state expense, but they do kind of have this mindset of these are our kids and we need to take care of them. But I feel like they do support us pretty well here in Hill County too, but we do a lot of programming and I think that's what makes us a little bit different.
We go out of their way. All right. Any questions from Ms. Lee?
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Constable Precinct 3.
Good morning again.
Come on, get there.
Okay, do I need to go over the camera stuff? That's gonna be covered
Do we
again.
have any questions on the Axon system? I think we've.
The only difference is gonna be, it's gonna be twice as much as anybody else's.
Because you have a deputy constable.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so we'll do away with that one. Okay, the biggest thing I'm asking for is for the truck to replace the 2018 with the money we got from the insurance, the money from trading in on the 2018. We can get a brand new 2025 Ford pickup for like 16,000, I believe. And that price is not going to change if we had to pay full price next year. I mean, it'll be a lot more. But the Dodge has got 150,000 miles on it. It's going to start nickel and diming us to death pretty soon anyway, because some of these, it's not the roads that we travel on. All the roads in our precincts are good roads. It's the driveways we have to go down. They don't comply with what y'all have to. So I went through one the other day that I scraped the rear end up getting out of the mud. So it's the first time I've used my 4-wheel drive in a long time. And I got down to the low 4-wheel drive on the end. And again, that was in a driveway, not a road. But we need to replace that truck pretty soon anyway. So this would be a prime time to do it. Then I got
The tariffs will probably raise the price of that.
do what?
The tariffs are gonna start.
They are. I'm sure they are. It's raising everything else.
So, Ms. Susan, we spoke or we emailed about this truck.
We can look that up, what the total price was for trading them.
Do what?
What was the total purchase price before tracking?
Before trade-in,
Yes.
let me look and see.
You didn't have the total price for what it cost for the new truck.
I have that.
Got it.
I've got it
was
somewhere.
46. That's it, right? The total price is 50,350 plus another 1,100 for cement and recover the GPS. So that's about 52,000. And they were gonna allow 8,000 trade. The problem is the new bid limit doesn't go into effect till September 1. If this vehicle is. If it's on the buy board, we could purchase it now, or if it's not on the buy board, we could, solicit bids and. Hopefully get one, that one or one close to it. I don't know who supplied this bid for you.
Was it Hillsborough Ford?
Mhm. But, I mean, if Kyle's not gonna use his money, we know he had money, if he's not gonna use it, we might could. Pull his money, to help pay for it this year. I don't know, the extra constable car, do we wanna,
I think they're wanting to keep that vehicle.
we wanna keep that, okay.
Well, we use that one a lot when one of ours is in the shop for something.
Yes.
I mean, we might could work it around to get it this year, we would just have to, either solicit the bid. I guess we solicit, put ads in the newspaper,
Okay.
has to be out for 2 weeks before we. Take action.
If we trade in, is that? Doesn't below 50,000?
No, that doesn't, that's irrelevant,
It's the total value.
yes.
The one I had. I thought did I give it to you?
Yes, sir.
It's 46, it comes out at 46, original bid.
With the trading.
No, that's before the trade-in.
No, that's after the price.
I don't know, it's 46,904, wasn't it?
Well, I've got this, I don't know if you see it on the phone, but. But that includes taxes that we're not gonna pay, so. But we have to look at the price before the trade.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Or, if we don't do that, maybe we could use the insurance money to pay, it just Exxon taking care of this year.
Yeah, that's 50,350. And then the trading knocks off the 8,000. So it's over 50,000. But we can just.
But
Split
if
it,
not,
solicit
we
bids.
could use the money that he's received and all the Exxon.
Right. That's true.
Well, that Dodge is pretty beat up too, with the hail damage. It had $12,000 worth of damage to it. So. But anyway,
Yes. I guess we can talk about the soliciting bids for that vehicle. If we want to do that, if not, and then we can do that before the new year, so we don't basically come buying a new product next year.
yeah, well,
And that way,
didn't you say we could buy it in September 1st if we,
For September 1, we don't have to advertise for bids,
Yeah.
but prior to September 1, I mean, you can still buy it, we just have to put it in the paper. To request bids for
it'd
it.
be about the same anyway.
well. Yeah, I just like talking if we can dodge tariffs. Right, sooner. And
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at is,
If we throw a couple ads in the paper, it's 2 weeks,
It'd be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's almost September by then.
Pretty close.
So if
Few
you
weeks, couple of weeks spare.
Maybe the price will go down.
yeah, maybe. All right, anything else in your budget?
I wanted to try to get my clerk moved up to a clerk 3 position. She's been doing that job for the last 8 years. She serves all 4 of us, and sometimes we can be kind of cranky. I know how you commissioners are.
Yeah.
So
And she does serve each constable. She doesn't just.
she doesn't just work for one person. She works for all 4 of us. Actually 5.
So how does she wind up in your budget? How does she wind up in your budget instead of spreading that?
He's over
We,
her.
we hear,
He's over her. We had to put her somewhere under one. So
Okay,
that's how he ended up with the deputy and the clerk.
so
Since he's a senior member of the,
part of her funds for her salary come out of the other budgets to consolidate.
all he is.
So that's all in yours.
It's one of those. Some they had sheriff supervisor.
I'll be glad somebody can.
And so the court thought it was wise to give Larry.
There you go.
Well, I was the only one with supervisor experience.
Lucky Larry.
He's that old cantankerous part he's talking.
Yeah.
I heard that, and I never was that way when I was at the sheriff's office. I was always kind and friendly.
Huh.
How old is he?
Probably from the court.
You were a lot younger back then too.
That hair.
All right. Any questions for the constable? Constable, anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, then we'll move on. We appreciate you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Constable forward.
Good morning.
Is this?
It's Miss Lincoln's.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just sit there. So the first item that you see that I've requested to increase was $100, and that's just for our dues and memberships that we're a part of, just because of the cost of things have gone up. So I just needed $100 added there to increase that. We received an email from the treasurer's office through the auditor's office about an increase in our bonds and insurance. This is the first year since I've been in office that I think I've ever received this information. That I think it was kind of done on the backside previously. So we didn't get that information. It was kind of done with, yeah, I guess Susan done that for us in the past. Susan, and I haven't even talked to you about this, but just what I've done was put $1,099 increase just based off of the email that was sent for the rising cost, what I'd spent previously, and adding 10%, I believe is what the email suggested that we do. So I bumped the bonds and insurance up to a total of $2,000, which is $1,099 increase. The next increase you'll see is for $447. That right there is for the Cradle Point that's part of the camera system that we've been talking about. So that's about a roughly average of $35 a month is what that come out to. And then the next item that I asked for an increase was in the security equipment, the $54.90, that includes the Axon that we've been talking about. And just because the watch guard that we had, they were purchased by Motorola, the support went away over a year ago. So we have non-functioning camera systems in our car. Philip and I had talked a lot about this, and what's nice about this system is it gets us on the same
all law enforcement on the same system countywide. So it makes it easier for them to support one system. So along with that, on the money, the Tahoe that is assigned to my office that is a really old unit, but I've been able to maintain it, keep it in good shape that we use as a backup. It received $4,941 in damage. Chose not to repair that. I'm shocked that it didn't total the vehicle out because of age. But
What's
the
your
vehicle,
cost? I just asked.
I know that, but I can't
Right.
tell you right off the top of my head. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, it got some damage to it, but the damage is, to me, not justifiable to fix because 4941, if we sent that thing to auction, it probably wouldn't bring 3,000, just because of the age. It doesn't have that many miles on it. It's just aged out. It's got a little over 100 and something. I don't remember exactly, but we chose to keep that as a backup unit and we use it periodically to people's vehicles in the shop for some type of repair. So it's kind of a cheap backup unit for us. Well, that money, what I'd like to do, however y'all think it would be best utilized, but that would cover about 80% of the first year of the camera for my unit. So I don't know if we're looking at doing that on an annual scale for the camera purchases, or if it's looking to purchase them outright, because that number is over a 5-year period. And I think that's currently how the sheriff's office does all theirs, correct? Isn't it on an annual payment plan?
Yes.
So it doesn't cost us any more to do the payment plan. So I figured that's the best way. We got money sitting in the general fund drawing interest and break it down on annual payments. But the 5490, that would, if we use that money from the insurance, that'd cover about 80% of the first year's cost just on the camera system. So.
And that also could be done this year instead of encumbering that to next.
Is it possible to get that done this year, or do y'all have enough time to get those?
I believe they're willing to take our money at any point in time on this stuff. Yeah.
But do we have to have it in the car before September?
Well, at least in our possession, it'd be good to have it in the car. October.
Well, the only trying to get it in the car by then may be tough just because of the outfitters situation, because you
You
gotta,
can get backlog.
oh yeah,
Inundated.
but the sooner we're able to purchase it and get in line, because once October comes around, that line just really starts to get long, because the outfitter that we currently use, who I would choose to use, is Marshall Stuff. Terry Hamley, he's out of Joshua, and he's outfitted a lot of vehicles for us. He's really reasonable, but does a great job. And he's close if there is any issues. So I worked with Terry at Burleson, and he is also an Axon installer. So it makes it easy. We can take it to Joshua and sheriff.
Yeah, they'll be telling us.
They're in the middle of the process.
Yes.
We could, if there's a chance we could go ahead and say we're gonna do it this year and not budget for the Exxon next year. And then if at the end it doesn't work out, we have that ability to encumber the funds. So it just, it enables us to add it to next year's budget through the encumbrance profit.
Anything else?
Yes, sir. Well, so I guess the total increase that I asked for was 7136. So that covers all of that. And then y'all all have the Axon breakdown in there, so it'll tell you what the total cost is and what the annual cost is to keep it functioning. So
What is the annual cost? So if we just had the budget, the annual
Is
cost.
that 5490? Let's see here, it's
55.
553112. But see, they had one of the numbers, they had tax on it. I think
For annual.
Yeah, let me get back to that. Susan. I think the entire cost 27,655
Then that's over 5 years.
over a 5-year period. And the good thing with that too is new equipment as they come out with better stuff, then we get those upgrades. We get upgrades with that. So hopefully with doing something like this, we stay ahead of the curve on technology. I mean, Philip, have you found that to be work out where you go with that on their upgrades and working good?
Absolutely.
Yes, you know. So I just think that's the best way for us to go in putting everybody on the one thing. So, and as Constable Neville touched on our salaries, I mean to beat a dead horse on this. I've talked to you all about this in the past. I know we've had salary survey and I don't know where that all stands because of funds. But one of the things that the survey has failed to do over the last 2 we've done is take in consideration really is what a constable's job is. And I don't think if you polled people, most of the people don't know what we do. All in all, our responsibilities, our duties, you know, we're the bearer of bad news, whatever door we knock on. And, you know, we're pretty much a one-man show that does everything. And, you know, I'm soon have 34 years of law enforcement. Larry's got right at 51. Neville's got 32. Gersh has got 20. And I think that speaks a lot for us is doing the job and trying to keep us out of liability. There's so much, not just the serving of the paper, but the writs. That's what's so involved that we do that takes so much time. And, you know, there's only 2 different offices that can go take somebody's property and set up the courthouse. That's the sheriff and the constable. And, you know, we have a lot of responsibility there when we do the research and do all this stuff. You know, is it last year before, we're not, you know, levied on $4 million, you know, and I've had several other levies for a lot less than that, but there's a lot that goes into our job. And I don't think people really realize how much we do. Plus right now, we're all sitting at close to 800 papers for all of us. You know, that doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're a one-man show, when you're making 2 or 3 attempts just to try to get these papers served and stay on top of them. And there's a lot more hours of taking care of this stuff. And I think people realize what we do. They don't always see us running around serving papers, but it's an important part of the process. And we're doing them, you know, not just for the JPs, you know, we're doing every county paper. The only thing we don't handle is the tax warrants and the tax sales. Sheriff's office is still doing those. Outside of that, we serve all the papers, plus all the out of county papers, out of state papers, and all the attorney general papers. And if you look at what our pay scale is, we are the same pay as a 1-year deputy in the sheriff's office. That's somebody that's coming in that don't know the difference between sick them and come here. And I think our salary should be looked at to get us to an appropriate salary based off of what we actually do. And I don't think the salary survey has done a very good job of looking at the true duties of a constable. And all the filings, I mean, we fall under the same federal and state filings as the sheriff does, or a chief of police. We still get the same training mandates. So I think there's just a lot more to it than people really realize. So that's
Appreciate that.
Don't have any questions on anything? All right, thank you.
Appreciate it. Right. So that brings us to last time. Right. We're gonna talk about emergency management budget when we talk with the sheriff. And we're checking with Ms. Cook to see if she is ready to present her budget with Energy for Health. And I think Ms. Willen is gonna move to a little bit later on this afternoon. So we want, I'll take a couple minutes recess, go use the restroom. We'll see you back.
That's your phone stuff.
They started on your little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, early line up, get ready to go.
Yeah.
There's somebody this morning, problems.